Hey guys, welcome to the movie cage, and um, this is actually the first video of the channel. I'm slightly nervous, guys. I hope at least two people will watch the video, so that maybe we can have a discussion in the comment section down below. I'm excited to actually do this because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. Make a channel specifically to talk about film because I love a lot of classic film, and really, I have an amazing topic for you guys today. One that this topic solely inspired me to want to go ahead and pull the trigger and start a channel talking about film. And the topic happens to revolve around Terminator 2, guys. Yes, we just had the 33rd anniversary of Terminator 2 Judgment Day, China edition on Blu ray, which to me is still the best way to watch Terminator 2. And, yeah, so the actual topic itself revolves around the T-1000 and the casting of the T-1000 because, well, apparently the original choice to play the T-1000 was Billy Idol. Yes, the punk rock British dude who well, I mean, it's hilarious that they casted him originally to play the Terminator that's going to be a police officer. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of wild, ironic as hell. But apparently, he had gotten into an accident of sorts and had to pull out from being able to do the film. So they were trying to figure, Cameron was trying to figure out, who am I going to get to play the antagonist of the film? And apparently, one of the choices that he was considering at the time was actually Kyle Reese himself. There were a couple of familiar choices who Cameron seriously considered. One was Michael Biehn, who played Reese in The Terminator, and that in itself made me want to make this video, made me want to start this channel because this would have been a choice that would have dramatically changed the dynamic of this film, would have added an entire layer to Terminator 2 that does not exist. I mean, you have to consider, you know, Kyle Reese, John Connor's father, Sarah Connor's lover. He died in the original film, and him coming back to play not the protagonist this time, but the antagonist, while Arnold himself originally was the antagonist, now playing the protagonist in Terminator 2. The roles being reversed, and while obviously Kyle himself is dead in this timeline, it would be interesting if Skynet knew who John's father was and gave the T-1000 his avatar to use. Now, obviously, if that's the case, it would essentially ignore the whole, well, the T-1000 has to actually be in contact with the person that he is taking the shape and face of. So, if Skynet knows and somehow programs the T-1000 to look like Kyle, it would actually work because, I mean, look, man, shout out to Robert Patrick. He is the T-1000, so no disrespect to him. This is just a great topic of discussion, though. But you know, I guess the one way to really know that he's fake and not necessarily Kyle is for the T-1000 himself playing, played by Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn has no scars, so it'd be the opposition of, well, how Kyle looked in the original film. And I feel as though this choice, if Michael Biehn would have played the T-1000, first off, you have to consider, could Michael Biehn have pulled it off? And if I'm being completely honest here, I'm a huge Michael Biehn fan. He's actually one of my favorite characters in cinema to play a protagonist. I feel like he's such a convincing protagonist, but playing a relatively soulless, sinister antagonist, honestly, I have to say I'm not sure if Michael Biehn could possibly pull it off. I mean, like I said, I've watched him in Terminator. I've watched him in Aliens. Great protagonist type of character, great good guy character. He has that face that um just comes off as a dude with genuine good intentions at all times. But maybe that could actually work with the T-1000 possibly. But could he, with his acting skills, hone this to be able to play a Terminator? I mean, the only other thing I've seen him in is in The Abyss, where he plays like a military PTSD or paranoid sort of guy. And while he's not a good guy in that, it's still not quite the type of antagonist that we would be looking for in this. So overall, I'm not sure if Michael Biehn could have pulled it off, but
I don't know. With these weapons, I don't know.
let's just go about it as though, what if he did do it, right? So first off, this would severely add it would add a huge layer of depth to this already pretty depthful action film. I mean, the first thing I would think that this would do, which is something that I would prefer because I do like the extended cut of Terminator 2, but I really just hate the scene where essentially Sarah Connor is fantasizing having this conversation with dead Kyle Reese. I really don't like that scene because it feels so out of place. It feels really corny. It just doesn't fit. And I completely understand why it was cut from the theatrical version of the film. While I think some scenes shouldn't have been cut from the theatrical film, that one was one that's like, yeah, there's no reason for this to be here. But if Kyle's avatar is the T-1000, well, I feel like this would make that corny, silly scene viable for the actual cut of the film because Sarah still thinks of Kyle very often, and now Kyle's look is the T-1000. That's the avatar for the T-1000. So someone that she thinks about often and loves and still appreciates to this day, many years after the original film, this makes the dynamic of Sarah Connor um she's, she doesn't know what to do, obviously, She's gonna panic, she's not gonna know which way to go. I'm imagining that scene in the Pescadero, um, institution where she does come across Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator and her son, John, and she's already freaking out because she sees Arnold and she's just like, "Oh no, he's gonna kill us all." And then, she's running away, she gets caught, and obviously Arnold beats up the guards and says, "Come with me if you want to live." And she's like, and she sees her son. She's like, "Oh, okay. So he's actually not here to kill us." Shocking, right? And then I'm thinking of, well, instead of Robert Patrick playing the T-1000, she turns around and sees Kyle Reese dressed up in a police officer uniform walking through those cell doors with his gun. And now things become extremely complicated. She sees her son there. She also sees her lover there. What does she do? She's freaking out. She's probably going to have to be forced to leave by Arnold, potentially. I don't know. That is an insane dynamic there. It's like, okay, this complicates things severely. I would think inevitably she would go with her son, or maybe she'd die right there, right? I mean, like, who knows, man? Like, it'd be kind of wild. It is a wild thought. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel as though she would end up going with her son. She would still question a lot of things. This would add a deep dynamic to her character. And I think she would struggle with this throughout the entire film. Watching this character development theoretically play out for Sarah Connor's character, at first, she's not sure how to deal with the situation. She's extremely vulnerable. I mean, this is, her ex that died, and, obviously she thinks of him. And, he's the dude that she had loved a lifetime's worth in one night, as she had previously said. So to see her at first be extremely bothered by this situation, not sure how to deal with it, it adds this complexity that maybe is overwhelming for her character at first to eventually go through things and come to terms with the fact that this isn't Kyle. It looks like Kyle, but it isn't. This isn't her, her ex. This isn't her son's father. And to eventually, towards the end of the film, like the actual film itself, have to face off against Kyle as the T-1000, and it happened the same way as the film itself, in which she's doing her absolute damnedest to defend her son, to fight off this Terminator and finish him for good, and then eventually, Arnold's Terminator pull up and finish the job. Yeah, that would be so sick, man. This not only is adds depth and emotion for the character, but for the viewers as well, as as fans of Kyle Reese from the previous film to watch Sarah and Kyle go at it and fight. Uh, that is definitely emotional value for both characters and viewers alike that I think is absolutely something I would love to have seen portrayed on film. Man, if only, right? Holy crap. Now, once John realizes, oh my God, that's actually my father, what does he do? He's younger, he's more naive. I mean, he's still smart and resourceful for a younger guy, but he's still a kid. He's still a kid that I'm sure would have loved to have met his father, and he now sees his father, and he's probably thinking about that throughout the entire film. That's pretty crazy. I would love to see the discussion between John and Arnold's Terminator because John does see Arnold's Terminator as the father figure. Sarah sees Arnold's Terminator as John's guardian as well as a father figure that John never really got. Having Arnold as the father figure for John and then having the T-1000 as Kyle, that's some deep shit right there, man. Um, oh man, I had to fangirl a little bit over that. I love Michael Biehn. I think that he's an awesome actor for what he's done. Like I said, he plays some great characters that I really love and cherish. Kyle Reese is one of my all-time favorite cinema characters. To see him play this character would have been awesome, but I must say, man, Robert Patrick was amazing as the T-1000. I wouldn't have it any other way, but to wonder how deep this film would get with this monkey wrench essentially tossed in there, like, you know? But guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Yeah, there's like a lot of ways to really think about this whole thing. It's kind of really, really cool. I'm kind of wishing low key that Cameron did go with that. I mean, it would have made sense since Arnold went from antagonist to protagonist. Kyle Reese going from protagonist to antagonist, man. That would have been so dope. But guys, this is an awesome discussion. If you haven't, please hit the like button, really helps me out. If you're new here, which everyone is, I guess, subscribe to the channel. Definitely got a lot of topics for y'all. A lot of things that I want to talk about revolving around classic film, but also some new things as well. I would like to give my thoughts on stuff like The Crow or Francis Ford Coppola's upcoming film. This is things that I have in mind. Definitely want to talk about more film topics, maybe do some retrospectives. If you guys have a topic of discussion you would like to recommend, I mean, definitely do so in the comment section down below. I'll look into it, or if I want to give my thoughts on it. Hey man, we could definitely work something out. Would love to have things to talk about here and see where this goes. So anything you guys can do to assist me in trying to make this channel work out, I would be forever grateful to you. But yeah, guys, if you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Cult Classic Cage. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.